Ciao ragazzi, my name is Anthony. You are watching Inter Worldwide. And once again, we're here to cover some talk for the Euros. And I'm joined by two gentlemen. I'm outnumbered by Juventini, but it is what it is. We're all Azzurri fans here at the end of the day. So thank you to my friend Riccardo joining us from Sicilia. Once again, is it Granita o'clock or not yet?
Hi boys, hi to everyone. Yeah, I have my Granita. It's boiling hot here. It's been 38 degrees since last Friday. I'm in an air-conditioned room, but apart of that, Forza Azzurri.
That's it, man. Good group stage. And Adriano joining us once again, bro. Second time on the channel. Thank you so much for your time, brother.
Pleasure, Anthony. Thank you very much, guys. Glad to be here and looking forward to talking culture.
Let's do it, man. So 9 points out of 9. It's I like it. I like what I see, and I like what I hear from the fans, and I just like it, to be honest, because you had that camaraderie that everybody gets a run in and everybody is really united. You saw the way Mancini made his substitutions, and I just thought it was a really good and professional performance. Of course, Gales had a couple of chances, but we're not really here to dwell on the match. Overall, I just think the Azzurri go into the next round confident that they need to stay professional and beat an Austrian side that is going to be good. But I think the general consensus around this table today will be that Italy are definitely looking to just take a good win into the quarterfinals. We're going to look at the whole bracket in a second, but I'll just go around to the boys just very, very quickly. Riccardo, you first. Overall, very impressed with the Azzurri in the group stage. And who do you expect to come out strongly in the round of 16 bracket?
Okay, yeah, I think the Azzurri, they won the group pretty easy. Everyone says, we didn't face a good team and stuff like that. Turkey had a good run. Switzerland, Turkey was a disappointing on the tournament, I think, with Poland overall. And, having a player like Lebanowski and you don't even go through the group stage, that's a big call. I would not just write off Austria, guys. I don't know. I got this feeling it won't be an easy game. Austria is really solid team. Always been hard with us. I remember 1990, we beat them this round 16, but it was a really tough game. All the players play in Germany, and they got the German kind of style of play. So hopefully, with the tradition, we go with Germany, we can beat Austria. I won't be at 3-0.
Yeah, I remember, I think we versed them in 1998 as well. I was only 6 years old. I think we beat them in the group stage 2-1. They had a penalty in like the last minute, but the game was won already. I think Di Biagio scored in that game as well. So I'm pretty impressed that I remember that. I was only 6 years old at the time. Adriano, your thoughts on the Azzurri altogether? You're confident going into the round of 16, and who else do you think might come out strong? You're disappointed in anyone for going out?
Look, I am. I'm pretty confident actually going into the Austrian game. The Azzurri in general, it was, I think, a flawless performance for the 3 games. Yeah, you have a lot of people talking about, it was weak opposition. You beat who's in front of you. The Poms couldn't do that. We're very professional every single game. That last game against Wales, it was good to see that we had other fringe players in the squad step up and actually performed. I was really impressed with Pacina, the way he played. Toloi was solid. It was just a very astute performance. And going into the Austrian game, like Riccardo said, and like yourself said, Anthony, it's going to be a difficult game. It's going to be completely different to the way the Welsh played, the Turks played it, and they're very difficult. They play in a good league, majority of the players, and you're going to see. I think you're going to see quite an attacking Austrian lineup, the way that they play. So yeah, no, look, I'm confident. I'm very confident the way this they unify together. You can see that they're like best friends and they're playing for each other, and it's a different atmosphere. Disappointment. Yeah, I mean, you can say the Turks. I never really had them as hot favourites to win it, but so far they've qualified, but I'm still disappointed in the way the Spaniards play. Like, I mean, yeah, they walloped Slovakia 4-0, but that's Slovakia. The test will come when they come up against the crunch teams.
I think they do come up against the crunch team because they're going to go up against Croatia in the next round, and that's going to be tough, and which is a really good time for me to share my screen and bring up this bracket. So I'll choose a bracket now, but while I'm talking about that, I was very impressed with a couple of sides in the group stages, to be honest, just by the way they handled themselves. Belgium was obviously impressive for me, and they come up on the grid you know, on Italy's side as well. You could say that we might have gotten a little bit unlucky with our side of the draw, considering some of the nations that progressed to the next round, they weren't as good as Italy. But I remember in the last Euro 2016, we were really dealt the short end of the stick as well when we came up against Spain in the round of 6 to get that done as well. There's a fair few really, really good fixtures up there. But Riccardo, I was going to ask you one question before I move into that. If there's one team that you're really scared of, or one team that you think is better than the Azzurri, is there anybody else that stood out for you so far?
Well, guys, overall, you know, when you play this tournament, you sooner or later you gotta beat everyone to win. So if you've beaten before, if you've been into the end, you gotta win all the games. I'm not right off about France. I watched the game last night. I watched actually 2 out of 3 games of French. Actually, I'll watch all 3. Sorry, that I don't think they're good team, see player by player, but together something is missing. Yesterday the penalty was man. That's if there was against you, the government will come down, and you all will be on the group going crazy about we buy the referee, blah 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 blah. Saying that's the truth, man. Belgium, Portugal. I don't know, man. I'm not sure if we beat Austria, we gotta face Belgium. I'm not sure about that. We might face Portugal. I prefer Belgium actually than Portugal, and I'm surprised Germany went too. And I really like Sweden. Solid team, really solid.
Yeah, there's actually, thank you very much. That's good. There's actually 12 people here right now, which is more than I expected. So make sure you like the video and tell us where you're from, and if there is anybody new, please. 13 people in here now. Adriano, I will go over to you next, my friend. We're looking at some pretty tough fixtures there all together. So let's go through the first few, you and I. Wales and Denmark. For me personally, I think the Denmark passion is going to carry them into this match, and they're going to get the win, and they'll move through to the next round. Italy and Austria, I think all 3 of us would predict a win, but I'm going to back up Riccardo and say I actually think it's going to be tough. Could be one of those games where we go 0-0 into half time, and we're all sitting there going, you know, we're going to have to pull something out of the bag in this second half and hope for some piece of individual brilliance as well. I think a team like the Netherlands, for me, got the good end of the draw here. I think they were sluggish in their first 2 games. They relied on a couple of good counter-attacks for Depay and then a tap in for Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum is quality. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player. Inter had a good chance to get him. Barcelona had a good chance to get him. And then, like our good friend Riccardo here would say, PSG just came along and went butt to everybody and swept him right up right there. But for me, in those first 3 games, Adriano, I'd go for Denmark, Italy, and the Netherlands to progress. What about you, sir?
Absolutely ditto. Denmark, I think, has just got too much quality all around within their team. Sorry, against the Welsh. I don't see the Welsh at all putting up too much of a fight. They were fairly disappointing against the Italians. Italy, I agree with you. Absolutely agree with you 100%. They're going to find it a lot tougher than their group stages. I predict maybe a 1-0 going into halftime, and it's going to be quite a cagey start to the game, trying to sound out how they're going to play tactically as well. They don't want to give too much away. And the third game, the Dutch up against the Czechs, I think this is going to be you know what? I'm going to go out with the limb here. I think this is going to be a lot tighter than what it looks like. I reckon the Dutch will win. But they haven't been convincing for me yet in the group stage.
Fair enough, man. I think I would have to agree. Once again, I think they're relying on a couple of players for their individual brilliance, and fair play to the likes of Depay and Wijnaldum. They come up big. Riccardo, any disagreements on those first 3 games? And you and I will move quickly into the next ones.
Wales, Denmark. I don't know, man. That's 50-50 for me. Wales last Euro was quarter semi-final, so I won't write off them. Still, we've beaten 1-0. Remember, guys, if Italy is that good, how everyone says, we just got 1 goal to the Wales. So they got that style of play that's really makes the other team work hard, and that's how Italy did. They didn't have a big chance, but still 1-0 could go they could have drawn the last 90 minutes, the last minute. So I would not write off the Wales Denmark. Could be 50-50, could be extra time game. Italy, for the heart, I gotta say Italy, but won't be easy. Netherlands, Czechs. I think Netherlands will reach semi-finals.
Yeah, fair enough. The next few games we'll go through Belgium and Portugal. Probably the biggest one on the cards, man, to be honest. A lot of good players that are going to take the field there. Portugal, finishing third in their group the same way they did 5 years ago. And then they went on to win the entire tournament. That vexed me a little bit because I feel as though, once again, Italy got the really short end of the stick in that draw, having to play Spain and then Germany straight afterwards, a very strong German side. But for me personally, as long as Portugal's got Cristiano Ronaldo in the dressing room and on the pitch with his presence, not to mention the stars that they've got, it wouldn't surprise me to see them upset Belgium. And for Belgium's tournament pedigree, which is still only as thick as a semi-final appearance in the last Euros, or was it a quarterfinal? Did they go out in the quarterfinals to Wales? Do either of you two remember?
I think quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals. There you go. So once again, they can talk all they want about their golden generation, but they act like they're all just really, really young. A lot of them are in their peak right now. So it's sort of now or never for now in the next World Cup. I won't be calling them the golden generation anymore in the next 2-3 years. So there is that incentive right there. But I just think big-time pedigree might come down to fail them once again. For me personally, I will still pick Belgium because that De Bruyne-Lukaku link-up is just going to still wreak havoc, I think, against the Portuguese defense that is not that great. But once again, that's the toughest one on the cards for me. Almost as tough as that is Croatia and Spain. Me personally, I think Croatia just started to find their flair a little bit, and they'll be tough to stop, especially if Perisic is still going to keep driving as hard on that right-hand side for Spain because their defense is also not that great. Their Slovakian score flatters them a little bit, as Adriano said. I think, the first 27, 28 minutes were pretty tough, and had the keeper not made that absolutely horrendous error, I don't think we'd be sitting here now. Big up in Spain as much as we did before. So those two fixtures will go to Adriano. What do you think, bro?
Belgium, Portugal. Look, I agree with you in regard to the Belgium team. It's now or never with them. They've had their golden generation now for the since 2018 World Cup. Even previously beforehand, they started to blood through them, and now they're at an age and they're at a time where they are world-class players. This should be their tournament. Pressure is on them to perform. I agree with you that Lukaku and De Bruyne link up. If they're on song, I can't see Pepe, and that aging defense and that leaky defense of the Portuguese team sustain those two. That's if they're on song, though. If those two go missing and they're nullified with the Portuguese midfield and defense, I don't see anything else within that within that Belgium lineup that can threaten the Portugal team. Portugal, yeah, okay. They've got Ronaldo, but for me, that's it. No one else has really stood up to the mark. Croatia and Spain. Again, I am. That's a tough one. That's really a tough one because neither side have convinced me. To be honest, I see probably Spain 2-1. Spain 2-1. I'm. That's a real toughie.
It is, bro. Riccardo, would you agree or disagree, bro? Those two fixtures, Belgium, Portugal, and Croatia, España.
I don't want to sound like the devil's advocate here, but I watched French Portugal yesterday, and I know what Adriano's saying and you, Anthony, saying, but Portugal faced Mbappe, Griezmann, and Benzema, and the midfield the Portugal they had the ball all the time. So I know every game is different, but the Portugal dominated yesterday, and against Kanté, against Pogba, against Tolisso, and then Rabiot. So Sanchez had a great performance. The Portuguese guy. So Belgium is definitely a good team, but Portugal's are the champions. And when you got on a team, Cristiano Ronaldo, how you saw last night, everything can happen. Everything can happen. I predict extra time, maybe penalty, and I give it 50-50. I would not put money each side on this. That's I think the hardest game of the round 16. Croatia, Spain. Yeah, Croatia on paper is strong. I agree with Anthony. They maybe find the gear, and yeah, I reckon Croatia will go through 100%.
Yeah, I do think Croatia will go through as well, man. So for me, yeah, I'm actually going to go with Croatia. I think they are going to go through. I'll stay with you, Ricky, for the time being. France and Switzerland. Nice draw for France. This Switzerland side, always a side that likes to make it out of the group stage, but very famous for going out in very early knockout stages, obviously. For me, that's pretty much a shoo-in for France. They'll have too much quality on the day. England and Germany. Personally, I think I'm looking forward to this one the most because I dislike both nations and I can't wait to see one of them go out. I would prefer to see England go out because, my goodness, I cannot stand their fans at the moment. Adriano, what do you say about that?
Oh, mate, I can't stand the Poms in general. Just shut them up. It's not coming home at all. It's not, and it hasn't been since 1966. But look, to be honest, the French against the Swiss. Like Riccardo said earlier on, it's a lot of and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of individuals are trying to be the prima donnas, be the show stars of the tournament, and they're not playing as a collective unit. And I've seen a couple of the French games, and it's showing like that. You got your Pogba, who we all know is a prima donna show off at times, and wanting to just play for himself, or same with Mbappe. If they're a collective unit, they're unstoppable. But at the moment, I can't see. They've got some weak points, absolutely. England up against Germany. My prediction went down the bloody gurgler a couple of weeks ago when I said about the Poms could be a dark horse in there. Germany are starting to get their rhythm into play a little bit more. Yeah, they struggled against Hungarians, but I think they'll have far too much quality for the English.
I would have to disagree. I actually think England on their day might actually get one over the Germans. I think the Germans have got the mentality, but the English have got the better side on paper. And as annoying as they are, I can just see them going through to the quarterfinals, and then they can freaking lose on penalties there to whoever they do, like they always do. Riccardo, France, Switzerland, England, Germany.
French, Switzerland. It's French, 100%. Too much quality, and definitely they're gonna reach a quarterfinal. England, Germany, guys. I've been saying this way before Euro start. This Euro is designed for the English. It's designed for a team to play every game in Wembley with their own crowd. It's going to be double for the semi-final. I mean, it's clear England going to get the push. They won't win it, but against Germany, I think they will go to round to quarter-final, 100%. Germany, they were really lucky yesterday. I'm really sad because I was going for Hungary. I told you on the previous show, Rossi, the coach, his sons play water polo in my town, so I know Simone Rossi is a friend of mine. And I had a dinner if I reach quarterfinal. So we lost the dinner yesterday. We were watching together with a couple other water polo players. And yeah, I think Germany is there for luck, big luck. But if you, I followed both games. Could have gone either way. Could Germany won, go on top? France second, go on the other draw. Portugal could win and go on top. It was until the last minute. That was the toughest group overall. Yeah, I'll sign England. 100%.
Yeah, nice one, bro. Adriano, last one. Sweden, Ukraine. Sweden, probably one of the most surprise packages of the tournament, bro. So, what do you think about that one?
Real surprise packages. I saw probably about one of the 25-minute highlight packages on Sweden this morning, and a real collective team, a good style of play. Kulichevsky down that left side, real threat, and just they seem like they know each role what they need to do, and I think this is going to be a bit of a tough one. The Ukrainians, look, in all honesty, I haven't watched much of the Ukrainian team this tournament, so I don't know what their type of style is, how they've been playing. But I've seen a couple of the Swedish games, and I think Sweden by a narrow mark.
Yeah, well said, man. I want to introduce Adam Tenanini to the chat as well and to the video. His first time on Inter Worldwide. Adam, thank you so much for joining me on the channel, bro. It's been a long time coming. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell the boys and anybody watching how you support culture, man. A little bit about yourself. Thanks again.
Yeah, when I said it, lads, thanks for having me. Yeah, it was a long time coming. Thanks for the invite, by the way. Now, look, I guess my story is similar to everyone, isn't it? Italian Australians. Grew up with the game. I was adopted into the football family from a very young age. My dad took me to the 1990 World Cup as an 11-year-old and fell in love with the game there. I always tell the story about those, walking up the Scaletti, the steps of the Olimpico for the first time, and just like being mesmerised, seeing the grass being as green as I would ever imagined, and from there, obviously a big Roma fan. My family hails from Rome, and in all that time, been to a few Serie A games, been to 6 World Cups, been involved at a local level, and as a player, now a coach. So yeah, I've very much it does dominate my life, as I'm sure it does for you three guys as well. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. I just want to say one thing just for context. Adriano, I remember I told you last week, I thought you had a photo with Francesco Totti in your profile picture. That was definitely Adam now that I'm thinking about it. That was me, wasn't it, man? You want to clarify that for me? I got you guys mixed up in my chat.
That's all right. There's an actual story behind that. Just quickly, I actually got married while the wedding was scheduled, and then I found out that Roma was touring Melbourne. So, how many times in your life do you have the club that you support touring your city? So I had to cut my honeymoon short and be back in time to make sure that I was here for the Roma tour, and jumped off the plane from Mexico. We went for a honeymoon. Had a shower, went straight to the MCG for the press conference, and was lucky enough to be able to ask Totti a question and have a photo with him. So definitely a life highlight.
That's awesome, bro. I'm gonna stay with you for a sec. Just tell us a little bit about what you think of the Azzurri so far, man, and what their chances are going forward in the round of 16 against Austria, and eventually for the rest of the tournament. Hopefully.
Yeah, look, I don't know. You guys, I guess I'm a bit as surprised as everyone else at how well we're playing. Off the back of the Ventura experience a couple of years ago, and how far Mancini's been able to bring this team. Definitely a different style in play. Not something that we're used to having watched the Azzurri over the last 30 years. Really confident. I mean, the draw is probably not as favourable as it is on the other side for Germany, let's say. You have to beat these teams to lift the trophy at the end of the day, don't you? So I think Mancini's been able to instill a great culture, first and foremost. And that is definitely evident in the way they've been playing. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but those Azzurri teams of the past that haven't clicked, and when they score a goal, you don't see everybody jumping off the bench, and now you're seeing everybody jump off the bench, jump on the field. They're all jumping all over each other, and that's the most pleasing thing for me. I think that the culture is what's driving the performances at the moment, as well as obviously they need to have a bit of talent, so they can all certainly play. I think it bodes well. I think we'll get past Austria, and then the real stuff starts, I think, for us.
Well said, bro. Over to you, Adriano, bro. Have the bracket up on screen now. We've talked a little bit about the games, but we might as well digress into where we think this tournament's going pathwise. So we can see that the winner of Belgium and Portugal plays winner of Italy, Austria, winner of France. Winner of France. Switzerland takes on the winner of Croatia and Spain. Sweden and Ukraine, the winner plays the winner of England, Germany, and the Dutch against the Czech. Winner of that game plays the winner of Gales versus Denmark. Adriano, where do you think this tournament's going, bro? You want to go as far as the semi-finals for us, G?
I think, look, with the whole hype and the way that we've been playing, I said this before the tournament, leading up to it, semi-finals minimum with how we've been playing and how good of a solid team that we are. Look, I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and say that we've got to win it or we have to win it or we're the definite favourites. No, but the style of play, the unity, the camaraderie, the type of flair that they're showing on the field at the moment, I can't see them not getting to the semis. So yeah, definitely semis, I think, and I wouldn't be scared. They don't have that fear anymore of playing the big teams, and it's been And it's been shown. Usually back in the day, they would have a little bit of that fear going to it. So, if we face Belgium or face Portugal or face the French, who cares? We have to beat the best to win one of the best tournaments. So I think semis, at least minimum.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Don Riccardo, over to you, my friend. What do you think? What do you think of the path, man? Each side of the draw. It's anything can happen, man. One of the best teams can be dragged into penalty shootout and just go out on the spot. So where do you see this tournament going maybe over the next stage or two?
Okay, just want to open a little about Italy. This is the first game, knockout stage, that this team is going to play. So that's, I think, this would show a lot of what this team is made of. Adam was saying before, it's the group that took us there. Great leader is Mancini. I think he's got also his team with Vialli, Evani, Salzano. They make a good group. But again, this is the first knockout game in all the run since Mancini is a coach. So how Adam knows that he plays soccer, it's going to have a lot of pressure on it. But I think if we get through Austria, I see Italy in the final, beating either Portugal or Belgium. Portugal or Belgium, man, it's okay. I see it this way: if we go against Belgium, you put Chiellini on Lukaku, and Lukaku goes to sleep. If it's Portugal, you put Bonucci and Chiellini on Ronaldo. They get him from the change room. They play with him for 2 years. They know all the move we're going through. So yeah, I predict Italy in the final. On the other side, I like to see Sweden going through to the final.
Wow. You really think they're capable?
I think they're surprised at the tournament. They won the group with Spain. I think they're surprised at the tournament.
There's always one. Adam.
Spain, Poland, Sweden. Do you think before the tournament Poland will go out?
Yeah, you would.
I think Riccardo's looking for a bit of revenge there with Sweden.
No revenge. But they're always a surprise team. You know what I mean? Denmark did it in '92, and I see Sweden solid, really solid team, and the Swedish play really uncomfortable to play against it.
Yeah, fair enough. Adam, your thoughts, bro, on the draw together? Do you agree? Is there a surprise package before I say my opinion, bro?
Yeah, look, the question I was going to reverse and ask you guys a question: is there any team we particularly fear out of the last remaining teams? But in terms of progressing through, like I said earlier, I think we'll breeze past Austria. I think we won't have any issues there. I'm getting a little bit fearful of the quarterfinal. I think this team has the ability to progress further, but I'm just worried that we might trip up there. Just a general feeling that I've got. I'd much prefer us on the other side of the draw, like I said earlier. But yeah, look, it's all open, isn't it? And the beauty about the Euros is, unlike the World Cup for some reason, is that it's opened up for the smaller nations, in the past, your Greece's and your Denmark's, and whereas in the World Cup you've had that same handful of countries win it every time. Ricardo might be right. There might be a surprise packet in store for us that might make it all the way through to the final, and then who knows what happens. But yeah, in terms of being fearful, obviously France, and I'm actually more worried about Portugal than I am Belgium for some reason.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going back to Adriano now, man. When I say my thoughts, when I'm looking at this draw right now, I'm just going to keep saying this really favors the Dutch, man. The Dutch have got a clear path to the semi-finals here. No problem, no questions asked. They're going to beat the Czech. They're probably going to beat Gales or Denmark as well. And then whether or not they're good enough on the day, they can probably beat England or Germany or Sweden. I really don't think it'll be the Ukraine making it through two more stages. But in my opinion, maybe the Dutch really are the dark horse going undercover here, bro. Adriano, having a look at the bracket, my friend, especially on the right-hand side of the draw, because we really know what Italy's side of the draw is. You can also answer Adam's question while you're at it. Anybody that you fear, and how do you think it's going to go?
Look, I think I agree with yourself. Look, the Dutch have got I would say a favourable draw leading to the finals. I think their only challenge that they might come up against is the English or the Germans. I believe maybe I'm going to say on that side, I still believe the quality of the Germans will come through. I think they will reach the final on that side. Maybe they'll have a tough game up against. I see them easily going through against English. Sweden and Ukraine. Look, that can be anyone's game, but I do think the crunch game there, if they face up against each other, Germany and the Dutch, and I reckon the Germans will go through to the final on that side. Definitely, I reckon.
An Italy-Germany final.
I reckon, you know what, an Italy-Germany final, do what they did back in 2006, and but this time don't wait until penalties, just finish the game off in 90.
You mean the 118th minute and 46 second, all right? I'll always remember that. Riccardo, I'm going to go over to you one more time, man, for you to answer Adam's question, man. Anybody that you fear in the tournament? Who's the best side besides Italy, man?
Yeah, I'll probably back what you guys say about the Netherlands, but I think dark horse could be Netherlands. I think the dark horse is on the other side of on the right side of the tournament, because Italy's favorite, France is favorite. I don't think Croatia and Spain are at the level of Italy and France. It could be a problem from Belgium, but the dark horse is Holland or Sweden.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough, bro. Adam, I'm going to go over to you next, bro, and we're going to keep this going for about another 5 more minutes. Players, man. Players, not teams. Who's impressed you so far in the tournament, man? We've had some good goals. We've had some sexy goals. That Luka Modric goal at 36 years old, you can't buy that sort of fucking class, man. Excuse my language. That was incredible. What are, like, maybe a couple of your most impressive moments of the tournament so far?
Is that plays for Inter?
No. Shut up, Riccardo. It's a conversation for another time, all right? You want to play that game? We play that game another time. A couple of moments or players that have really impressed you, Adam, in the group stages, man. Anybody stood out for you?
From an Italian point of view, I'd say Locatelli. When Pellegrini was still in the squad, we didn't know whether he was going to start or Locatelli was going to start. But now that Pellegrini's not there, he's really taken the bull by the horns and established himself as a starting 11 player in that team. He's impressed me. I've always had faith in Spinazzola. The problem is with Spinazzola is he'll play 3 great games and go missing for 6 through injury. So if we can keep him fit for the rest of the tournament, it would be a win in itself. Across the board, obviously that goal from Modric the other morning was just sublime, unbelievable for someone his age to be playing every minute. He's come off like something like 60 games already this season at that age, which is just extraordinary. A player that I love watching at Sampdoria and now for Denmark as well is Damsgaard. What do you think about him, lads? I think he's a brilliant player, destined for a bigger club. And who else is there? That's about it, to be honest. Malinovsky from the Ukraine, the Atalanta player. Another one that's impressed me. So, I tend to look out for those Serie A players to see how they're performing, and they're all doing really well in this tournament.
Serie A players are very, very, very important, bro. I'll go back to you, Riccardo, before we go over to Adriano. Some players or moments that have really impressed you so far, man. Anything stand out?
Definitely, I think Verratti, he needs to play. I'm answering also Uncle Shama
question, my boy Uncle Shama. Yeah, Locatelli or Verratti? It's a big question, bro. Can you answer that one for us?
Yeah, how much I like Locatelli, and I think he's a great player. I think Italy cannot play without Verratti if he's in form. Verratti is proven as a world-class player. Been saying from his PSG teammates, and I reckon if he's against Austria, probably we need him too. Austrian, really tough guy, tall, stronger. We need the style of play Verratti has. Surprisingly, on the tournament, I really like to saw Schick sign. Scoring is been a surprise. Also, Forsberg from Sweden has been top there. And then, the usual suspect, man, Ronaldo, 5 goals. What else you can say, man? 711 goals, 110 goals in the national. These guys keep breaking, and looks unstoppable to me.
He does, albeit the penalties are penalties, bro. But I've always recognized Ronaldo for his complete package, man. And I don't care. I've always said it on my channel, and I'll say it video after video again. It's not just what he does on the pitch. It's the whole package. And I've never seen an athlete in any sport in the world that has that sort of package. And I'll just leave it at that. Adriano, all on you now, bro. Locatelli or Verratti, and maybe what's a couple of moments or a couple of players that have stood out for you in the tournament so far?
Locatelli or Verratti, it would be very cruel on Locatelli to drop him after what he's done in the group stage. But you look at that performance from what Verratti did. My God, if he plays like that, that midfield will just go to a next level. The only question I ask is, does he have still? I know he played about 80. Did he play the full game, or did he get taken off against Wales? I'm not sure. I don't know if he played the full 90 minutes. He played full game. That was my only question: was can he back up and do we risk him? Do we risk him starting, or do we give him 30 or so minutes? Start Locatelli. We know what Locatelli could do, and maybe give Verratti 30 or so minutes when or if we are in a comfortable position. I'm torn. Look, my brain says Locatelli, but my heart says, go for Verratti after what he did against Wales. Standout player, or not, but my player that I really like the most, and my God, if Juventus could bloody sign him up, that would be fantastic, would be Malinovsky from Ukraine. God, he is a dynamic player. He is so influential. He is bringing that Atalanta form over to Ukraine, and he is threatening every time. His deadly crosses into the middle, his dynamic runs in between the lines, dribbling. He's that rocket left foot. So for me, Malinovsky for Ukraine has been, a standout performer.
Fantastic, bro. Well said. We've been going for a nice 36 minutes, which is all I need to review these Euros. But first of all, I'll just go back to our friend Adam. It was short but sweet, bro. But thank you so much for coming on Inter Worldwide, man. And yeah, bro, I hope to have you on again very, very soon.
No worries. Anytime.
Thanks, bro. Forza Italia. And to Don Riccardo, always a pleasure, bro, from where we would all rather be, in Sicilia. Enjoy your granita, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for being on the show. Say hi to all your fans and followers. Say hi to all the boys in Australia. And Forza Italia. Andiamo.
Forza Italia. Vamos. Adriano, my good friend, thank you so much for joining us once again on Inter Worldwide. It was an absolute pleasure. We'll chat with you soon, all right?
Ciao. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Forza Italia.
Thank you so much. And from everybody here at Inter Worldwide, well, maybe not everybody in this particular four square, but Forza Inter, but from everybody here, Forza Italia. Let's go again. I did it just for you, Riccardo. You want to play games? You want to play games live? We play games. We play games. All right. All love. All love. Ciao, ragazzi.
Ciao, boys.
Let's do this.